everyone, it's Di here from Diane and welcome to another week's video. This week we're going to make this beautiful little handbag gift box. Now this one I have actually put a Velcro onto it and it opens up and it's a really nice size box inside. It measures, let's see, 4.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches high. So, and it's at the base it's 1.5 inches. So that one, as I say, I've put the Velcro on. This one I put a magnet on it so that it will close, and I actually like the magnet on this one. So we're going to do this one with the magnet. So it's really a very quick and easy project. I'm going to be using some retired products and some non-Stampin' Up products in general, like these gems on the top here. I've got some more in a silvery colour here which I'm going to be using on today's project. But other than that, there's very little you need for this, so it's a great way of using up some of your scrap pieces of DSP. Now my DSP that I'm using is actually the 2020-2022 in colours, but the DSP is the one from last year, so it's now retired. So let's pop them out of the way and I'll tell you what we're going to need. And this is it. This is all we need. So we need a piece of card that measures 11 inches by 8.25 inches. Another piece for our strap measures 3/4 inch by 6 inches. So when you cut your 11 and your A4 piece down to 11, your 3/4 inch piece here will make your piece that goes on for your strap. So there's just that tiny little bit there, wastage out of a one piece of card. That's all. Now you need three pieces of designer series paper, as I'm not going to use that size up. I think it looks too busy. We're going to use this side with the, looks like a wood grain on it. So if you've got a pattern that's one direction, you do need to be careful how you cut it. You need to cut it with your shorter side being the piece that the picture is showing down on all three pieces. Okay, so we need two pieces that measure 4.25 by 2.5 and one piece that measures 4.25 by 1.5. And that's all the bits we're going to need, plus a magnet, or if you don't want to use a magnet, you can use the Velcro. So let's bring in my scoreboard and move that piece out of the way for a moment, and those out of the way so they don't get in the way, and we will score this. Now we're going to score this on the short side first, and we're going to score this at 3/8 inch. Whoops. 3/8 inch all the way down, and 1 7/8 inch, and then 6 3/8. Oh, come on. And 7 7/8. So that's 3/8, 1 3/8, 6 3/8, 7 3/8. I'm going to turn it so that we have the long side across the top now, and we're going to score this at 1 3/4, 2.5, 5.25. Oh, come on. I'm really not doing good today, am I? 6 3/4, 9.5. I think my board needs a bit of a clean. And 10.25. So let me go through that with you again. This is 1 3/4, 2.5, 5.25, 6 3/4, 9.5, and 10.25. Now we're going to turn it around again 90 degrees, making sure that we have 2 small lines here at the bottom, little pieces, and the larger one at the top. So there's a, like, this is the, where we, 2.5, 1 7/8 mark along that edge there. So we're going to bring that back in, so that the larger piece here is at the top. And we've got 2 small ones at the bottom down here, which you can't see. I'm out of the screen a little bit. If I put it in, you still can't see them very well. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're now going to score on this short side again at 1 1/8, but we're only coming down to the 3rd score line, which is here, which is, when you're looking at it from your side of your board, is at the 5 1/4 inch mark. So 1 1/8 down to that 3rd line. There's 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do the same again at the 7 1/8 mark down to the 3rd line. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So let's move this board out of the way, and we'll bring in our piece of card, and we're going to start our cutting. So we're going to cut away using our scissors. We're going to cut away these 4 little marks here, and this big one, and this piece here. So this is the 1, 2, 3rd line from the bottom, not from where we've got this line through the middle. So with the small end at the bottom, we're going to cut up to the 3rd score line, and we're going to remove it. Like so. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. We're going to cut up to that 3rd score line and remove it. Come on. Doesn't want to come away. It just says, no, I don't want to be removed. Okay. Then we're going to turn the card around the other way, so that our 2 pieces that we've scored, and I'm going to just trim that up a bit there, because I don't like the way that looks. Oh dear, come on, that's it. So we're going to turn this around so that we now have all our score lines at the top, and we're going to cut down to the 2nd score line. So we're going to cut from that 3rd score line in, the 1, 2, 3rd score line in, 2nd score line down, and we're going to remove that. Whoops. So 3rd score line in, 2nd score line down. Oops, 2nd score line down. Like so. Now I'm going to change to my smaller scissors just because it's easier. We're going to remove this little piece on the end here. So at the next score line down, I'm going to remove this score line here. So at the end score line just been removed. So the only bit of the end score line is these pieces here. So now we're going to, from this shape, this piece here, we're going to cut up this score line to the next score line, and we're going to notch it in on both sides. Oops, making sure you get a nice notch in. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side as well. Now, if you would like the written tutorial for this, you will find the cutting instructions all within the tutorial itself, and a picture of a template picture so you can see how it goes. Now that we've done that, we're going to turn this onto the side, and at this other score line here, we're just going to notch those corners. Get those out of the way. And I didn't bring my rubbish bin over, so all my rubbish is going to just have to sit on the side for today. So we're going to pop those out of the way just there. Let's move all my scraps out of the way. So while this is still flat, we're going to bring in our rounder, and this is optional, but it just makes it look nicer. And putting it into the corner rounder, we're going to round the corners of the top piece here, which is the longest piece, and the shortest piece at this end. Okay, and then while we've got that in here, we might as well do on the smallest piece of our designer series paper, with the design facing downwards. If it's a design that's directional, we need to round the corners so that when it's on the thing, it looks the right way. Okay, now we're going to fold and burnish all our score lines. So move my scissors out of the way. Bring in my tool. Oops. I've got the heater in here, that's what you can hear blowing, and it's actually getting really quite hot, so I'm going to actually turn that down a little bit. With our middle score line here, we are going to fold that the opposite way. So we don't need to do it like tight as, just a little bit at the top. So we're going to bring this in, fold that middle score line back, just give it a little bit of one, and then finish all the others off. Okay, so we now have our box all ready to go, and we're going to turn this over, and we know that this is the back of our box, or our handbag. So we're going to pop our piece of designer series paper onto the back of this piece here. With the front of our box, we're going to now turn that around. We're going to work out roughly where we want our magnet, if we're putting our magnet in now, and that's where we're going to put our magnet. So we're going to use some glue dots. Thought I'd forgotten to bring them over. And we're just going to put a glue dot onto the bottom of this magnet, and we're going to pop this around about there, I think. So making sure it's even in the middle here. If it's not, you can move it, and then we can pull the top part of our magnet off and pop it on one side, and pop our other piece of designer series paper. Now you want your magnet down far enough so that you can put your glue all around it like so, as well as onto your designer series paper. This will help to keep it in place. Not that it's going to go anywhere, but it does help to make sure that it is nicely in its place. And we're not going to worry about our other piece in our magnet at the moment, because we're going to actually make up the rest of the box. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that's nice and tight down along that top bit. There we go. What we're going to do now is we're going to put some glue onto, I've got this upside down, onto these flaps. So I'm going to just do one at a time. And we're going to bring in the base of our card box, and we're going to put it up so that it's nice and square on this corner. And once we're happy with that, we can pop it down nice and tightly. And there we go. And then we can do the other side the same. And I'll pop this side up like so. And then we're going to just pop some glue down these side tabs. We can do these one at a time as well, and make sure that comes down nice and neatly and nice and tightly down there. Oops, sorry, I'm out of the picture. Nice and tightly down the side there. Once you're happy with that, you can then pop your bone folder along that edge and make sure it's nice and straight, and then we can do exactly the same on the other side. And we can bring that down nice and flat, nice and easy. Turn it over, use your bone folder then to push it down nice and firm. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to fold this piece over into the inside of the box, and this will actually bring the sides of our box together, right, and push them in. See how this pushes in? It will push those in on either side when we pop our pieces down the side, so that they sit nice and neatly along there like so. Once we've done that, we can now work out where our other magnet's going to go, like so. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pop another piece of glue dot onto our magnet. We've got a rough idea where it is going, and we know that that's where it is because it will clip down nice and tight. Once you've done that, we can now open this up and we can pop our glue around our magnet piece and all over the back of our piece of designer paper. Whoops, stand still, designer paper. And place this over the top of our magnet, making sure that it's down nice and tight all the way around. And your box will now close beautifully, like so. Whoops, there we go. Right, while we've got this, we'll pop that out of the way for a moment. We're going to bring in our strap, and we're going to bring in our scoreboard again, and we're going to just score this at the 1 inch mark, which we could have done before, and the 5 inch mark. Then going to fold and burnish our score lines, making sure they're nice and straight. And with our bone folder, we're going to just break the fibres a little bit on the middle section between those two score lines to give you that rounded look. We're then going to bring our box back in. Oh, I thought that was glue there. It's just a tiny little bit of the white showing there on the paper from the next line of pattern. So we're going to pop some glue onto one of our tabs, and we're going to pop that onto the top of the box, right in the against this edge here. And then we're going to do exactly the same the other side. So we can pop some more glue onto this piece here, and we can pop that onto the top, right to the edge there, bringing that in like so. Let me just pop my pin in my glue, and that's our box. So we're going to now pop on our jewels. Now these are optional, but I just think that they look just great on the top. And my last one, oops, can sit on the front over the top of the magnet, and it just looks like a really posh bag. Wow, you'd be happy to have a bag that looked that posh, and in that, I love that colour, so it will do me well. So that's our project for today. If you would like the written tutorial for this project, you can pick that up from my Facebook group called Dies Down for Stamping, Crafting and Tutorials. You will find the link for that down below here. I would like to thank Paper Pixie for the inspiration on this card, this box. Hers is a little dimensions are a little bit different because of the fact that their cardstock is a different size. So I've had to adjust the sizing to match what I need. So if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. That way you will not miss out on any of my other any of my new projects. You will get a ding saying that you've got new ones from me, and at this present time, I only do one tutorial a week, and it goes live on a Sunday morning, South Australian time at 8 AM. So if you would like this, as I say, it's a great idea for that lovely girl. Put some sweets in there, some jewellery, whatever you like, I guess. Great for a Christmas idea too, I think, Christmas paper for something different. So I will see you again next week. Bye for now.